My world is not about creating a look, it's about emulating someone else's look. And that implies that there's a relationship with the main unit DP and that we can discuss what I'm going to go off and do. And in a perfect world, there is that time and that relationship, and we can talk about it. It's really about my coming to an understanding of what the other elements in that scene are going to be so that I'm shooting something appropriate. It's really on me to come up with plates from which they will select the things they'll use. And in that case, I'll do what I can to understand how that DP works. A lot of times I'll watch other films that the DP's done, that the director's done, get a sense of what likely styles will be. Just try to understand the visual vocabulary and ultimately go out and do the best I can, and visual effects will adjust it if they need to, you know. It used to be really easy to talk about what we shoot plates on, because when we're working on an anamorphic film show, I will generally shoot plates on a VistaVision camera. 35mm still camera format within a couple of thousandths of an inch. So that gives me a level of resolution that's high enough that in post-production they can reframe, they can punch in, and the grain doesn't get us in trouble. And that was the case for years and years and years, whether it was an anamorphic show or a spherical show. If I shot in VistaVision, I had a resolution advantage, and that gave us the flexibility in post to work. When we're not in film, it's really an open question. When main unit is shooting Alexa, I'm more likely to be shooting plates on Alexa because we want the tonal values, we want the color. It all really has to look like it was shot with the same camera. But now I can't get the resolution advantage, so I now have to shoot a greater selection of plates so that we can cover different focal lengths they might be used for. If I'm on a show where we need to add people into a scene, whether it was because the story changed or it was a safety issue, when the car was crashing, there couldn't be someone right there, but the director looks at the cut and goes, we need some people around there. That's really fun for me because now I'm back in the world of lighting, because I have to analyze what's already been shot and figure out how to match it so closely that I shoot a person, we stick them in, they have to match all the rest of it. Cool things I get to do. A few years ago I went to Paris and spent a couple of weeks on top of the Eiffel Tower shooting background plates for this big animated sword fight between the good guy and the bad guy, Rush Hour 3. All night, environments from every possible direction. And the sword fight happens in Culver Studios, about 3 meters off the ground, and the backgrounds we did in Paris. In G.I. Joe, there's a big scene where nanobots eat one leg of the Eiffel Tower, and it goes whew. So I got to shoot stuff from the Eiffel Tower again, but then I got to hop around Paris to various places and shoot scenes of the Eiffel Tower and follow it falling, even though, of course, it wasn't falling. And in post, they took out the Eiffel Tower, put in a CG Eiffel Tower, and knocked it down. So people must have thought I was nuts. I'd be sitting there looking at the Eiffel Tower and then panning and tilting to watch it fall. So that's the kind of stuff I do.